You know, I'm gonna be 36 in October. When I look at my life where I'm at right now and kind of where I was at 18 when I had my first kid and thinking, okay, where do I want to be at 35 or 36? I honestly never dreamed that I would be here. As some of you might already know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. In honor of that, BetterHelp is sponsoring today's video. Thank you so much, BetterHelp, for doing so. I appreciate it. And not only that, but I appreciate the services that you provide. If you're not familiar with BetterHelp, BetterHelp provides access to hundreds of professional and licensed and vetted therapists from around the country at an affordable monthly price from the convenience of your home. As you guys know, I have struggled with mental health, depression, mental exhaustion, anxiety, and just kind of my little bits of OCD behaviors for a really long time. And I've seen counselors and I've seen therapists in the past, and I do find them to be super effective. But my issues now as an adult with 3 children and a husband and 2 dogs and a job and then this is that I don't have time to take care of myself like I should mentally. Because of services like BetterHelp, I can not only find care for myself from the convenience of my home, but it's also affordable enough that I can afford that on top of taking care of my kids and their needs. As you guys know, and I'll touch base on this a little bit more as I get into my life update video, this year has been super overwhelming for us. We moved to a new home last year. I had multiple knee surgeries. My kids have been kind of struggling to get back into that in-person school schedule. My oldest just got her license and started driving. Again, I'm already sharing stuff about my life that I'm going to share in a little bit. But it's just been overwhelming. We've had some health concerns with both Wyatt and Kaya, which has kind of drained our HSA, and there's just been a lot. So taking the time for myself to not only make appointments to go in person or to even just take the time to find a right counselor for myself and then pay for that has been really daunting. BetterHelp has many different options of how you can talk to your therapist. You can do live chat sessions where you're doing it over video. You can do it over phone. You can do live chat sessions through messaging, on the keyboard, or you can do text messaging in a chat room where it's not real time. So when you leave a message, they can get back to you and then you can go back and forth like that. If you're not a huge fan of the therapist that you're matched with, this is the thing that I love the most about BetterHelp is that not only do they have a ton of other therapists that you can choose from or be matched to, but you don't have to stay with the same person. Some of my anxiety and some of my issues stem from confrontation or the fact that I don't like confrontation. And so being able to kind of switch therapists without having to actually physically tell somebody that I'm leaving is a really nice option for me, and I know that I'm not the only person like this. And then also that guilt of trying to find somebody new or that frustration of finding somebody new is a lot easier to do when the service is kind of matching you with people and giving you options rather than going through Google or online and asking people what they think of other therapists to find somebody that's better for you. So with that being said, with May being mental health awareness, which I think is super important in general, I think mental health should be something that is covered all year round, not just in one month. I'm super honored that BetterHelp is sponsoring today's video. Thank you so much, BetterHelp, and thank you so much for your services that you've provided to me. I've really enjoyed them, and it's definitely been helping. So getting into just kind of Kelly's life update, what's been going on with me and the kids and the dogs and John. Obviously I touched base on some of the stuff a few minutes ago, but I did write notes to talk about the things that have been kind of going on that I wanted to hit so I can kind of stay on topic, because as you guys know, I have a tendency to kind of run off and talk about just whatever, and then these videos become like 48 minutes long. Luckily I have to work in about an hour and a half, so I will have to cut this short at some point. That's why I'm dressed the way that I am. But yeah, so let's just go into what's been going on with us. So as I mentioned, this year has been super overwhelming. Hell, the last 3 years have been super overwhelming for me and John and the kids, even the dogs. We've had a lot of changes going on with COVID and everything, and moving last year and then my knee surgeries. I've just felt like, the best way to put it, John said this to my parents when they asked how we were doing when they came in and visited over the weekend, and he said that it finally feels like now we have kind of an ebb and flow life. It's more of a hilly occurrence in our lifestyle, in our lives, instead of a mountain peak to deep valley kind of plunge. For a couple years, it just felt like we would have these really high highs, and then suddenly something really horrible would happen and we would just be plummeting down to a very low low. And it finally feels like now all the ups and downs are way more manageable. And I don't know if that's just because, again, mentally I'm getting a lot better and stronger, or if it's just in general all the hard work we've put in is finally paying off. I don't know. But that is true with our house, our dogs, our kids, ourselves, and our health. So our house, we moved last year. We've been now in our new house for about a year and 2 months. It feels really good. I don't regret moving. I do miss our old backyard because you guys know I worked really, really hard. I put a lot of money, time, and energy into that yard. It was just great. You know, we built a pool, a deck, I extended the patio, I did a bunch of landscaping, and it was just an oasis. And while I do miss that aspect of that house and the fact that my kids grew up there and I miss our old neighbors, I don't regret moving. We've been very happy in this new house. The space is just awesome. I feel like I can breathe a little bit more. I get quiet time, you know, when I'm in the living room because the kids are like in a different area of the house. John has his own office, which is amazing. You guys know he was working out of our laundry room for a little bit. He kicked me out because he needed a space, and that's where I had previously been working. I have my own office, which is amazing. You know, the kids have their own little fun living room. Common room is what we call it. It's right on the other side of that wall. And just in general, like, everyone is just a lot happier. There's space to just be, which we didn't have at the old house. At the old house, if somebody farted in the next room over, you could hear it. Like, it was just a lot. And as somebody who associates more as an introvert, I've been a lot happier here and a lot more calm and at peace. There's been a lot of ups and downs though in regards to things that we've needed to fix since we've been in here, but I am happy to say that those are all things that have been taken care of. As you guys know, the carpet was a huge issue we were having for the last year. We spent about 10 grand replacing all of the carpet throughout the house, and it was like coming up out of the trim and just curling up on itself after about a month. And I've been going back and forth with the company who came and installed it for like a year now and kind of just been pushed over, which has been frustrating, but they finally came out last Friday and fixed it all, and lines of communication are good, and I'm feeling a lot better about that. We've done a lot of little cosmetic things around the house. As you guys know, we did the kitchen. If you don't follow me on Instagram, that's kind of where I share all this little stuff. We did some custom shelves in our bedroom in here. It's just been nice. We've been getting stuff done. So the house is good. We've been really excited to be where we're at. We're happy we moved when we did because prices have just been skyrocketing still in the area. And I will never move again until I die because I hate moving. Like, it's the worst. And I don't even know how we will move all of our stuff out of here because I don't know how this house is full already. It's full already. We moved from a smaller house into a bigger house, and somehow in less than a year, this house is all full of crap. All right, moving on to kids. So as you know, I'll start from oldest to youngest. Ava is 17 now. She turned 17 a couple months ago. It is a crazy thought to think that next year I will have a legal adult. Yeah. She is currently just excited about life. John and I took her and her friend to an Olivia Rodrigo concert recently, and they just had so much fun, and it was so great as a parent just to see, like, Ava's the age that I was at when I got pregnant with her, and my whole life changed. You know, I was 17 and a half, that's how old she is right now, and for me, as a previous teen mom, there's something about seeing your kid live life and do the things that you wanted to do at that age but needed to not do because you were pregnant, and just see her just flourishing and happy. That is just super satisfying and awesome. So it was great being able to take them to that concert and just, I mean, we dropped them off. I didn't need to go because the tickets were horrendously expensive. Dropped them off and we picked them up. Like, they were just so appreciative, and she was just so happy and had such a good time. They did miss their prom. It's their junior prom, but they missed that to go to the concert, but they said it was totally worth it. So it was a good time. She did get her license, which has been terrifying for me. In one aspect, it's nice because now she can drive herself to school and her meetings and, you know, work and all of of that. But at the same time, now I have somebody out there, you know, driving a vehicle by herself, and people on the road are just angry and not great. And I'm constantly worried about her now. It's pretty cool seeing that she is at that stage of her life, and I'm pretty excited for her. She's looking into colleges outside of where we live. She wants to go out of state, which is new. She was like, oh, I'll just stay here and finish my undergraduate and then go out of state. But now she's like, I want to go. And as, again, a mom, I'm just kind of like, no, don't leave me. But I'm also really excited to see where she ends up and experience that with her. Wyatt is doing extremely well. He, holy cow, that kid. You guys know he's my spirited kid. I've been vlogging now and online and on YouTube since he was, what, 2? Something like that. And, you know, I used to get crap from people all the time because I would complain about him. And I wasn't necessarily complaining about him. It was just more of being frustrated because I didn't understand how to parent a child like Wyatt. He is just very spirited. He's always gone to the beat of his own drum. He has always been very opinionated. He has always been just, stuff has always just been harder. There, you know, sensory, sleeping, just everything since the day he came out of me. And this was a huge change considering Ava was just so easy as a little kid. And I don't know if it's just because I had more patience and more energy because I was 18 when I had her or what, but you know, they were just 2 totally different kids. And John and I were newlyweds when we had Wyatt. There was a lot of stress there. So there's money stress, like it was just all stressful. So Wyatt's just been evolving into this really awesome kid. He'll be 12 next 2 months from now. Next month, he'll be 12. And he's finishing up 6th grade. He's actually going to be going to a new school where he'll finish out his 7th through 12. He's so excited about it. It's not an open, like, everyone can come here. He did have to apply to get in, and he did, and we're super proud of him. Because of virtual, he was really struggling with his grades. His grades plummeted to, I think he had like a 1.8 grade point average starting off at the beginning of this year. I really pushed to get him into counseling. I pushed into getting him checked for ADHD. He's just had a lot of just struggles and obstacles in regards to just everything since COVID. It just was really hard for him. You know, I always thought that maybe he was on the spectrum of some sort or that he had ADHD since before virtual, and virtual just kind of escalated everything because it was just hard because he was stuck in his room on a computer for class every single day. John's family, I think, grew up not, well, I know they grew up, doctors were not a thing. Counseling, therapy was not a thing, things like that. Medication kind of looked down on. So it was kind of difficult to get John to come around to getting Wyatt help, but we did have a few instances this year which were just really hard for us and we struggled with in regards to him just tantruming full out and physically not being able to contain him even in our own home because he was just so, I don't even know how to explain it. He just has outbursts or had outbursts. So the second outburst of the year was overwhelming enough. I'm trying not to give away too much detail because this is just personal stuff for our family. But the second outburst was enough. And I shared this in a vlog where I did end up calling the ZEPF, Z-E-P-F, crisis line. I had seen a billboard for it. And so stuff got pretty bad one morning when he didn't want to go to school. And so I ended up calling the crisis line. They could hear I was crying. They could hear the crisis in my voice and they could hear it in the background. And I'm so thankful for the person, the dispatcher who I spoke to, because she stayed on the phone with me for about 2 hours, talked John and I through how to handle the situation that was going on at the time. And after a while, Wyatt finally calmed down and she got me in with Harbor Health immediately for some sessions for Wyatt so that he could start talking to somebody and see somebody, which, again, I'm just so thankful for the crisis line and for this woman because it made a huge impact on our lives and really helped us that day. Sorry. I don't know if any of this is coherent or making sense, but after that, we got him in regularly with a counselor. We got really lucky with him. His counselor is just awesome. He was totally understanding and just of everything going on. He didn't judge us. His psychiatrist, you know, same thing. She's great. We check in with her monthly because he is on a controlled substance. He's on Vyvanse right now for his ADHD. He's on the lowest dose. But after we got counseling, you know, started with him, and then he got on medication a little bit after that, and he's been fully assessed for his ADHD. Things have just been so amazing. His attitude at home has completely changed. He goes to school happily. He gets ready for school. And this boy has to get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning every morning to get to his gifted classes in the morning. And his grade point average right now is 3.8. He turned all of his grades around. He's actually straight A's in all of his gifted. You know, he's just, oh my gosh, he's a different kid. And while I do think the Vyvanse is a huge tool in his success, the counseling has really been one of the biggest things that has helped him. And again, we just got so lucky with his therapist that we found, because usually, and this is from personal experience myself, getting matched on the first time can be really difficult. And for him, it's such a good fit. He actually has an appointment this afternoon with him for his monthly session. Like, he was going twice a month, and then recently his therapist just like, listen, he seems to be doing really well. I think we can cut back to every month. And it's just been awesome. That's been really good. He got him into a children's theater workshop. That's been going on for a couple months. I signed him up right after Christmas because he really he's not a boy's boy. He doesn't want to play contact sports, and I'm fine with that, especially after I got injured from my, playing contact sports myself. If he doesn't want to do that, I'm not going to push him. But he opted to stay home from 6th grade camp because he really just didn't want to be housed with 13 boys in a cabin. I don't blame him. My 6th grade camp experience wasn't the greatest. I had one really good girlfriend with me in my cabin, and that was nice. But other than that, I will say that I probably came out of 6th grade camp with more traumatic experiences than positive. So I didn't force him to go, but that's just kind of the kid why it is, just to kind of give you an idea of his personality. Because he didn't go to that, I wanted him to get involved with something else. Children's theater, he's been wanting to try acting for a while, so I signed him up for a class that was every Saturday, and then he wanted to try out for the play, which John and I were like, yeah, sure, whatever you want to do, dude, like, go for it, but don't, be surprised if you don't get a role because you're new and this is your first time. That kid got the lead role. Well, there's 2 shared lead roles, and he got one of the lead roles after his audition. And while John and I are so proud of him and so excited to see him in his play in a couple weeks, holy cow, the transportation's been crazy. So he basically has rehearsal 3 times a week. And then he had his children's workshop still on Saturdays. So we were driving him to and from that, or John, I should say, 4 times a week. So that's still continuing on until the play in a couple weeks. So that's been kind of overwhelming. So when I say that, like, there has not been time for me to conveniently go and seek help for myself mentally, I really mean it, because between me working, John working, the kids in school, Ava's college courses being kind of crazy and her going back and forth to her dad's and keeping her social life under control, and then Kaya doing her things, which I'll talk about in a second, and then Wyatt having theater 4 times a week and counseling on top of that and his med checks on top of that, it's been super difficult for me to find any time to take care of myself mentally. So the online stuff with BetterHelp, when I say that I need that, I need that. But all in all, with all of that being said, the combination of him getting involved in something that he's really passionate about, and then the meds and his counseling and just school being easier and better for him, and then the household running better, it's just been awesome. I mean, I won't say that we haven't had our lows, because there have still been little mini outbursts, and the normal attitude of a preteen boy is still there, but for the most part, there's no extremes anymore in our house, which has just been such a breath of fresh air. Like, not having, like, going more than 6 months or at least a couple months without a outburst to the point where I'm sobbing because I don't know what to do, Wyatt's sobbing because he's scared because his emotions are so strong, and then John being frustrated. Like, going a couple months without that has just been so nice. So yeah, Wyatt is doing just awesome, and I'm excited to see where these next couple years take him. I mean, shoot, he's gonna be 12 next month, which means I'm gonna have, you know, him for only a couple more years after that before he goes off to college. All right, moving on to Kaya. So Kaya is, I don't even know how to explain her. I feel bad for her because with everything going on, okay, let's just say this. People have a tendency to think that Kaya is my favorite, especially online, because I share so much about her in regards to like photos and things like that in video. And the reason why that ends up happening is because she's the one who's present all the time with me. So Kaya is my little sidekick, and she's John's sidekick. Like, she's not a mama's girl and she's not a daddy's girl. She's a parent's girl. If we're outside working on the garage, she wants to be out there helping. If we're outside doing yard work, she wants to be outside helping. If I'm in the kitchen cleaning, she's at the counter, you know, eating a snack or wanting to talk. She loves her video games. She loves watching things on her iPad. She loves crafting. She loves doing stuff on her own, but she really loves being around me and John. Whereas Wyatt would rather be off on his video games talking to his friends or watching TV or just being, he's at that stage where he just wants his space. And Ava is just gone all the time now. You know, she's either in her bedroom doing her homework or on social media, which we lock her down. She actually only has access to Instagram just because I know how addicting it can be. Or she's out, you know, driving around with her friends or doing stuff now. So Kaya just is like always there. She's always around. She wants to be around. So that's why she's in all the pictures. That's why she's in all the videos. Is she's just, that's who she is. I feel bad for her because I feel like throughout her life, she's kind of had to be, because she is the youngest, she's been, I don't even know how to explain it. She actually gets less attention than the other kids. A lot of you have assumed that she just gets all the attention because she's the baby, but that's not really true. Because Wyatt's had so many more obstacles and his personality just needs us to be more present with him since he's been born, she's kind of been put on the back burner during those times. You know, the outbursts that Wyatt would have would affect her as well. You know, he got all of our attention during those times. You know, all this time that we're spending transporting him and getting him his help, like, not only is that, you know, time taken away from other people, but it's also time taken away from Kaya, if that makes sense. Ava, you know, with the stuff going on, you know, she is a very easy kid, but her situation has never been easy for me. My relationship with her father has never been great. I don't think it ever will be. I hope that it can be better, but it just doesn't seem like it's ever gonna be. So even to that effect, Kaya's been kind of put on the back burner because a lot of energy has been spent with just dealing with all of that stuff as well, financially, mentally, physically, all of that. So Kaya, I like to always explain as the non-squeaky wheel in the tricycle of our children. She doesn't really need much, and because of that, she just, I feel like she gets the least amount of attention from us, which sucks, but she's present all the time with us, so it kind of evens itself out. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But she's doing really well. She's such a strong kid. She is a kid who's just like, I know my worth, I know who I am, and I'm okay with that, which is so awesome because by the time I was her age, I was just a whole anxiety ball of a mess. She's doing Girls on the Run, so she's doing her first 5K, which she's super excited about. She was working so hard at just running. She was on the treadmill for 30 minutes straight the other day, and I'm just like, oh my god, I was kind of hoping we were going to walk part of this race, but it looks like we're going to run it all. It's like next week, so I really need to get my ass in gear. I've had knee injuries, as you guys know. I've had surgery twice this last year on my right knee. I had an MRI done recently, and it's extremely painful when I run. But I swore to Kaya when I signed her up for Girls on the Run that I would be her running buddy because I have been the stand-in running buddy for numerous friends of mine's daughters, and I ran with Ava as her running buddy. So come hell or high water, I'm gonna run a 5K with my daughter. I've only run a couple times. I will be fine, but it's pretty super painful for me to run, and it should be an interesting day, but I'm super proud of her. She's doing basketball camp again this year. She's super excited. That's the sport she wants to concentrate on right now, is basketball. She gets straight A's, gets super bummed when she sees an A-. She's just such a great kid. Like, I don't want to just gloat on her, but really as of right now, she's what we needed. We needed that kind of easier child, and God gave us that in her. She's just, yeah. And I know that there's still a lot of time because she's going into 4th grade next year. She's still young. There's a lot of time for her to become a difficult child. And I understand that, and I'll be ready for it, and I will understand that and be good with it. But for now, she's a great kid. She's good. She's a little bit emotional. We've learned she's getting a little bit more emotional, so I think the red dragon is coming, but she's a good kid. Another thing with Kaya, if you didn't see previous posts and things like that, we finally got her nose stuff situated. She hasn't had a nosebleed since she got her nose cauterized this past winter, so that is holding up really well. She was diagnosed with a blood pool storage disorder, which means that she just has an issue with clotting anywhere in her mucous membrane, so her periods will probably be super heavy, which I already had that issue. She gets nosebleeds very easily, which the cauterization has helped, but she is just more susceptible because of her blood disorder, and she is more susceptible to brain bleeds. So in regards to contact sports, she's not cleared for like football or hockey, and then if she ever has a head injury, she's going to be one of those people who's going to need an MRI or a CAT scan, regardless of if she, goes unconscious. Like, she's gonna have to have it as a safety precaution because she is more susceptible to get a brain bleed. It is a genetic disorder, so I am gonna have to get tested myself. I'm waiting for the Center of Blood and blah blah Hematology or Hemophilia whatever center. I'm waiting for them to call me to schedule an appointment to get tested, but yeah, that's something that I will be getting tested for as well. But as you guys know, Kaya's nose stuff has taken up a lot of our time as well. So that's another thing where it's just like appointment after appointment after appointment and just juggling 3 different children and their schedules. And John and I, like, it's just, again, there's just not a whole lot of time for self-care when it comes to the parents. All right, on to John. You guys know I don't share a lot about John just because John's a private person, and that's fine. That's fine. YouTube is my thing. It's not his thing. He's very understanding and supportive, but he's also very shy. So John's doing really well. He's still at the same job that he's been at since ever I met him. He's been, he's, I think, happy. Work's just been busy for him. He's just been a rock star in regards to dad life. Like, everyone's got their shortcomings as a parent, but with me working outside of the home now and so regularly, he's really had to pick up the slack in regards to taking the kids to school, picking them up, taking the transportation for Kaya and Wyatt, because Kaya has girls on the run after school 2 days a week, then Wyatt's got play practice 4 times a week, 3 of those days being after school. So that, coupled with counseling sessions and med checks and all of that, and me only having like morning availability some of the days, is just been a lot, and John's been handling it so well. It's been a couple months of our schedule being like this, and well, more than a couple months. It's been almost 4 months, and it's been working out really, really well. I think me being outside of the house more has been helping, and also just him spending more time with the kids because he has been helping a lot. So all in all, he's doing really, really well. As you guys know, he lost his father last September from COVID, so that was a really hard time for him, and then for the household in general, but I think he's doing really well. That's all I'll say about that. Now on to me. This video is probably super long, but that's, it's been a while since I've updated you guys like in a more in-depth way. I'm doing really well. I'm gonna be 36 in October. When I look at my life where I'm at right now and kind of where I was at 18 when I had my first kid, and thinking, okay, where do I want to be at 35 or 36? I honestly never dreamed that I would be here. And by here, I mean happily married for almost 13 years. John and I's anniversary is this month. Will be 13 years, which is crazy. With 3 healthy kids and, a nice home and 2 dogs and, work that I love. I never thought that this would be where I would be. I hoped, but never really considered that this was going to be where I would land. And I'm very very thankful for that. I'm gonna start crying again. I gotta go work in an hour, and I'm just very, very thankful. Mentally, it's been a hard couple years dealing with just, Wyatt's mental stuff and just where he's at. And there's a lot of extra stuff that I'm obviously not sharing with you guys because it's personal information to my kids or to John. So you'll just have to trust me when I say that the stuff that I'm talking about right now is not even the worst of kind of what's been happening in the background here. But it's been a rough couple years, and I finally feel like, as John, like I said earlier, that we're finally just in a hilly time of our lives where things aren't so bad, and they aren't like extremely bad. Instead, it's just like rolling with the punches instead of getting knocked out every other month. So that's been good. I think talking again more about my issues has been helping. I think finally having kids that are in their comfort zones and happy has been helping. And then I think working outside of the home in a job that I really enjoy has been helping. So over the winter I got a job. I've had my resume out there floating around for a while, and none of the jobs that I was getting recruited for or that I was applying to were good fits for me. A couple months, a company reached out to me and asked me to come in for an interview. I did 2 interviews with them. And then after my second in-person interview, was hired the next day, and I've been there since, and it's been really great. I work about an average of 32 hours a week, so that's been nice because I still have downtime to do YouTube, to spend time with my kids, to get my house in order, to spend time with John, dogs, that kind of thing. I don't have to work weekends unless it's like a special occasion that we're doing something at an event, which is really nice. And I'm working with people and I'm helping them, which is awesome. You guys know, like, I love helping people. Like, that is just something that I've always wanted to do. And if I would have finished school, I probably would have gone into social work or something like that. But yeah, I'm helping people, which is awesome. And I like the people that I work with, and they're very understanding with my schedule with my family, which is just awesome. So I'm not going to tell you where I work because I'm just not. But I'm helping people live a better life and get physically better, and helping them just feel better, which is awesome because I love making people feel better. So it's a very physical job because I am doing a lot of physical things with people, and it's a very mentally and emotionally draining job because you see all walks of life, and I tend to take everybody's emotions and internalize them as my own. And it's mentally exhausting because I'm constantly having to learn. So basically, I'm just constantly learning new things to help implement those in other people's rehabilitation. So yeah. And then work, I've just been really keeping busy, keeping content going here and on Instagram because I just really enjoy that and the opportunities that it's given our family. We went out to Bud Dairy Hall in Columbus a couple months ago, which was a lot of fun. I got to take the girls on a girls trip. We got to go to Fort Wayne last year, and check out their new hotel downtown, and there's been a lot of local stuff that we've been able to do, which has been awesome. So, I want to keep YouTube and Instagram going just because I really enjoy it here and the content, like I've said, but I've just been, keeping busy with everything, and even though I'm exhausted by the end of the day, every day, it's been really good. It's given me some more balance in my life, which I needed, and it's given the family more of a structured life, which I think we all needed, and it's giving me more purpose, which has been really nice. I have a lot of fun summer stuff coming up, which I'm excited about. We're gonna make a trip out to the DC, Virginia area to visit friends, so it's exciting to plan for a road trip. We have tons of kayak trips planned for this summer, and we have tons of camping ideas that we want to do. My parents are going to take the kids for us for 5 days in July during a time where my boss is going to be out of town, so that John and I can have a nice little staycation at our house. So super stoked about that. Wyatt's plays coming up, the 5K with Kaya, Ava getting a summer job. there's just so much stuff to look forward to, which I feel like it's been a while since I've been able to say that, just because we've always had looming and dooming things coming up, like knee surgeries or Kaya's nose surgery or selling our house or taxes. Like, there's not been a whole lot of stuff that's excited me to get, like, look forward to, but I feel like we're at a spot where I'm like, oh, there's so many cool things coming up, and they're not even like extravagant things. Like, I'm a very simple woman, you guys know. I look forward to little road trips and just a weekend off with my kids, or a basketball game with Kaya, or things like that. Like, they're just normal little things. It's not like we're going to Disney or going on a yacht or renting a house in, I don't know, like, it's just all little things, and I'm totally satisfied and cool with that. Feels good to be in Mental Health Awareness Month and actually have some good mental health for once. But anyways, that is it. I need to let you go because I need to be at work in about 45 minutes, so I need to keep getting ready to go, get my stuff together. If you're one of the people that made it to the end of this video, I appreciate it. I appreciate all of your guys' support. Every single time I see that affiliate link has been used to purchase something through, or anytime I see a really positive or even just like regular comment anywhere on any of my socials, it just feels really good. Like, it just, I don't care about attention, but knowing that there's people out there rooting for me and my family that I don't know is a pretty awesome feeling, so thank you for that. Thank you again, BetterHelp, for sponsoring today's video. It's sponsorships like this that keep this channel running and keep me being able to film for you guys and share things like I do. I will, of course, keep recording vlogs and uploading as much as I can here, and again, if you want to see me every day, I'm usually on Instagram every day. I want to say thank you guys so much just for everything. It's been a really weird time being online for over a decade now, and I don't know, you guys have made it worth it, for sure. So as always, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. If you want to sign up for BetterHelp, I will leave that link underneath this video. If you use that link, it is not an affiliate link, but you do get 10% off of your first month of using BetterHelp, which is awesome. If you have any questions, leave them below, and I will talk to you guys all in my next video. Bye.